Never pretend you do not know what that ancient silver bell means when its sharp metallic tone rings after 25 whole years of silent isolation, whispered the mysterious courier Samuel Reed as Claire Bennett carefully placed a steaming porcelain cup of rich dark coffee right beside the Alpha King's broad right hand upon the heavy polished oak dining table inside the Golden Palace Hall. Claire froze for a tiny fraction of a second, her soft gray-blue eyes widening in sudden cold horror before she expertly smoothed her dark rustic linen apron and continued serving the surrounding noble court as if absolutely nothing out of the ordinary had occurred. Across the grand sunlit hall, King Alexander Hayes noticed her momentary hesitation, watching the 25-year-old fair-skinned waitress with intense calculating eyes as she retreated toward the arched stone service passageway. The 35-year-old Alpha King possessed a commanding regal presence with a sharp chiseled jawline, short neatly groomed dark hair and piercing amber eyes that could cut through any subtle lie or deceptive maneuver, yet Claire had spent an entire peaceful year moving like a quiet phantom through his crowded castle, never attracting unnecessary attention until this fateful morning. As Samuel Reed melted into the shadowed marble corridor, Alexander stood up abruptly, his heavy dark fur cloak sweeping behind his broad shoulders as he called her name across the silent chamber. Claire turned around slowly, keeping her chin tucked down and her slender hands neatly folded over her apron, intentionally concealing the tiny silver crescent pendant that hung hidden beneath her high collar. Alexander closed the distance between them with slow, deliberate strides, his heavy leather boots thudding against the flagstone floor while his faint golden alpha aura hovered around him like a protective mantle. He leaned down slightly, looking straight into her calm, fair face, and asked if someone had spoken to her about the abandoned Eastern Tower bell. Claire swallowed hard, maintaining her carefully practiced composure while inwardly her heart slammed wildly against her ribs like a trapped bird seeking escape. She softly answered that a courier had simply asked for an extra pitcher of sweet cream, but Alexander knew instantly that his royal waitress was holding back the truth. He reached out, stopping just an inch short of touching her trembling shoulder as he warned her in a low, stern voice that the Eastern Bell was tied directly to an ancient bloodline summoning ritual created solely for the lost rulers of House Bennett who had vanished during the violent political purge 25 years ago. Before Claire could construct another clever shield of words, a deep, deafening chime suddenly erupted from the high mountain tower, shaking the heavy iron chandeliers and causing every single noble warrior, guard and servant in the palace to instantly drop their golden goblets in absolute paralysis. The resonant metallic vibration thundered through the stone foundations, vibrating through Claire's very bones as the forgotten bell sounded for the first time in a quarter-century. Alexander spun around, staring at the distant eastern spire in utter disbelief before turning his piercing amber gaze back onto Claire's pale face, where unmistakable dread was written plain as day. She stared at the archway as if expecting a horde of armed shadows to burst through at any moment. Alexander stepped closer, his voice dropping to a